Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, this is Kenyan Revolutionary. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I already told you, my name is Kenyan Revolutionary. I'm going to be here very briefly. It's Friday. I'm wearing red. Liverpool just got lucky. As you know, I'm an avid soccer fanatic. My team is Chelsea, but I was really hoping Liverpool will lose. But anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about here. Today, we are going to just explore very briefly what's going on in Kenya, the Kenyan politics, okay? We are going to talk on an array of issues. So if you really have a topic that you really would like to discuss, be part of, you can come on. But I won't be here for long, ladies and gentlemen. I won't be here for long. That's one thing I can promise you, because I've started late and it's Friday. I'm sure you have better things to do. It's Friday. You want to spend the weekend with your family, friends, somewhere in a pub, somewhere in movie night, whatever the case is. So we shall get to this. But I will start with Sifuna. Sifuna was making some points, was having a speech somewhere. I think it was in that low convection, whatever. Yeah, I'll start with that one. Then we'll, talk about different issues, okay? But anyway, first, if this is your first time here, my name is Kenyan Revolutionary. I talk about Kenyan politics and world politics as it relates to Kenya. By the way, Russia just met with Trump. That's a huge news. What are the implications, for Kenyans, okay? What does that imply? How does that affect Kenya? We'll talk about that. Maybe not today, but let's just stick to our local politics, the usual drama. By the way, didn't you see the DCP regarding Gachagua's party? Their social media, especially on X, or formerly known as Twitter, they've posted that they claim they'll do wataenda kumlaki kwa JKIA, then they shall have what do you call it, make their way to wherever they're making their way and have their own kamkunji, or whatever the case is. Just as I predicted. I tell you, these people are so predictable. I mean, it's silly. But anyway, I don't blame him. That's what they need to do to actually build up Gachagua. I told you Gachagua is somebody who's being built up to be the official opposition who is going to take over probably in 2022, okay? If we survive 2027. But let's start with Sifuna. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't subscribed yet, if this is your first time, subscribe. We talk about Kenyan politics and world politics as it relates to Kenya. So subscribe, share, comment, and do all the good stuff. If you're already subscribed and you are here, and you have the bell button go off telling you that you're here, the first order of business is to do what? Is to hit that like button. I will not ask you again, because I'm telling you, I'm in an ebullient mood. I'm happy. Premier League is back. So we'll have other things to do besides just work and, talk about politics. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, let's get to it. Sifuna. I've been telling Sifuna, leave ODM. Sifuna, stop giving threats to Mr. Ruto. Sifuna, if you don't agree with your party leader, leave ODM. Sifuna, if you're not afraid of by-elections, leave. Sifuna. By the way, another news, I just had, there's a candidate, the person who was going to be a candidate MP for Malava, is it Malava constituency? Apparently the guy was attending a widow something, and he just collapsed and died. That is. Again, I repeat, because it was buffering. The people are talking. Malava president, MP candidate, whatever, for the by-elections that was supposed to be scheduled for 27 November this year, was attending a function somewhere, and it is said that it was reported that the guy just collapsed and died. Alianguka to Pungulu. R.I.P. I don't know the gentleman's name. I'll probably find it on the X pages and give you the full name. UDA candidate, Malava, I think. It's Western Province, okay? So some people are saying, hey, kama alienda kachukua pesa ya kulaniwa and all that stuff. Let's start with Sifuna so that we don't waste time, because I do not have a lot of time today. I'm not playing with anyone. I don't have time today. I'm a very busy man. Karibu sana. Say if you're going to watch this on repeat, please go ahead and like the video. Haya, tuanze na Sifuna basi tusikie Sifuna anasema nini. Ama na okay, is it a house tonight? Na 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 na. All right, all right. Ay, nakwambia watu wengine wanaumwa. Some people, let me just, in fact, I'm going to make it a topic, actually. I'm going to make it a topic because this is ridiculous, like ridiculous. Is ridiculous. I'll tell you in a minute. All right, hold on for a second. What's this? Crap. Okay, what was I about to say? All right, let's do it. Sifuna was the topic. Sifuna. All right, Sifuna, take it over. Yay. Oh crap.
These all-in-one fancy pants.
That I know it's lunch hour, but I'll be very brief. My name is Edwin Sifuna. I am the Senator of Nairobi, the Deputy Whip of the Minority, still on the Bukalonzo. And many of you know me as the SG of ODM. Now, I had a choice. I had a choice to attend that jamboree in Homa Bay, or to join you here in Miami to discuss protecting constitutional rule of law and to demand accountability from those in power. I want to say that I am a proud member of the Law Society of Kenya. I'm always happy to join you. And as the Honorable Kalonzo was saying, position of advice, the most critical thing you need to do for your leadership is to give them the proper advice. These council members here are supposed to give good and proper advice, but need that advice are not these lawyers. We know what the law is. We know what anticipatory bail means.
I invite you, Honorable Spooner.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Madam President of the Law Society of Kenya. All protocols observed. I know it's lunch hour, but I'll be very brief. My name is Edwin Sifuna. I am the Senator of Nairobi, the Deputy Whip of the Minority, still Honorable Kalonzo. And many of you know me as the SG of ODM. Now, I had a choice. I had a choice to attend that jamboree in Homa Bay or to join you here in Yandi to discuss protecting constitutional rule of law and to demand accountability from those in power. I want to say here that I am a proud member of the Law Society of Kenya. As you've been told, my first time being elected was as a member of the Council of the Law Society of Kenya. Those of you who want to join politics, you will always hear people throw snide remarks and saying, this one cannot even be elected as a chair of a cabinet. So your first time is very important to demonstrate to people that you can actually be elected to anything. And that is the reason why I am always happy to join you. And as Honorable Kalonzo has said again, you need to maintain some nexus between yourself and your profession, because you never know. The way some of the young people are talking in 2027, all of us might find ourselves back home, and we will have to find something else to do. I want to commend the leadership of the Law Society of Kenya, led by Madam Faith. You have stood in the gap for the people of Kenya. You have stood in the gap for those of us who may have failed the people of Kenya by applicating some of the roles that were expected for us to execute. So, for standing for the rule of law, the Constitution, all of those things, and for defending the rights of Kenyans, we salute you, not just as the President, but the entire society led by our Council. Now, yesterday I came in and there was a conversation here that was going on. I found the Attorney General addressing this gathering, and I am not discounting the value of prayer, but if you are put in a position of advice, the most critical thing you need to do for your leadership is to give them the proper advice. These council members here are supposed to give good and proper advice to the President of the Law Society of Kenya. The Attorney General is supposed to give proper advice to the President. And the murmurs you are hearing in the hall is because many of us at the back there were shouting, you are preaching to the choir. The people who need that advice are not these lawyers. We know what the law is. We know what anticipatory bail means. The person you're supposed to be speaking is your boss, because he's the one who doesn't know what anticipatory bail is. So I hope she understands. She understands the concern that we have as a people, as lawyers, with everything that has been done by this administration to claw back on the freedoms and gains of the people. She spoke about anticipatory bail. She even tried to suggest, I don't know which era her mind slips to, that there were some, offenses that were not bailable. That is something we left back many years ago. And I hope she would also address herself to this thing of applications by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution here, which is being used by the Director of Public Prosecution. My understanding of your role, I think it is Article 157, that in the execution of your duties under the Constitution, you must have regard to two things: the public interest in the administration of justice and the need to prevent and or avoid abuse of the legal process. Now, when you sit in office approving these charge sheets that are being manufactured in the police stations, do you ever lend your mind to your responsibility to us as the people who are being charged with some of these offenses that Honorable Kalonzo has spoken about? The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, and I will say this without blinking, is a weak link in the fight against abuse of power in this country. You have a responsibility when you are approving that charge sheet to remember that it is you to prevent abuse of power and process in this country. So we are here to call you out as well and tell you we are not very happy. The Chief Justice of this republic gave us a history of these rights. You know, people always forget that everything that has been put in the Constitution is drawn out of the experience of Kenya with previous regimes. There is an experience which, in fact, I always refer people to the CKRC report. You will understand the why. Why are these things framed in the manner that they are framed in the current Constitution? So, I always go back. If you want to understand the frame of mind of Kenyans, why they say the DPP needs to also prevent abuse of process, because there was a prosecutor called Bernard Chunga. Everybody remembers Bernard Chunga. Maybe the other ones may not remember. Yeah. So there is a historical context to some of these things, and the CJ took us through that history, and she spoke about corruption as well, and she asked who is this that is bringing corruption to the judiciary. We in Parliament have also been accused that we are rent seekers, that we go to ask people for money. I want the president to tell this country, who are these people who go and ask his cabinet secretaries for money? They are his cabinet secretaries. Who are these people that ask governors for money? Let them tell us. Let them tell us. To make blanket accusations, and I want to say this. You see, personally like Sifuna, I had taken a public position on Gajamba way prior to the impeachment. Are you telling me you paid me to do something I already wanted to do? Had I not gone on record objecting to some of the things that were coming from the pulpit of the deputy president? I had said it. Was I going to demand that you pay me to impeach Gajamba?
All right, this feels almost illegal to know, but our windows were so old and just desperately needed to be replaced. So,
Honorable Kalonzo, some of these things that people say, they are besmirching the entire house. If somebody has come to ask you for money, say, Sifuna asked me for money. There's a cabinet secretary who claims when they come to the Senate that somehow we ask them for money to be nice to them. I am a member of the Public Accounts Committee. Our proceedings are live. Those of you who have watched those proceedings, do you see a nice Sifuna? Is that what they pay me to do? Anyway, it's a difficult conversation, but we need to all agree that some of the people who are pointing fingers are the worst possible auctioneers in this country. In fact, their names are synonymous with corruption. If you ask a small child in this country what they know about that person, they tell you that is a thief. And then they are the ones standing and telling us, oh, Parliament is corrupt. All of those committees in Parliament, except two, all of those committees in Parliament are headed by members of his party, the president's party. All of them. Agriculture, lands, whatever it is. So, he should have a PG with his team first of all, before he calls all the members to go for PGs, join PGs. You know, you will allow me to just speak because when Faith asked me to come to this conference, I asked her what would be my expectation as a guest here. I can see people came there doing this. The president told me, Sifuna just speak from the heart. And I asked her, are you sure? Are you sure that you want me to speak from the heart? But she has allowed me to do that. I just want to make some concluding remarks about some of the things that have been said today. First of all, Dr. Okello, I admire his courage. And I can assure you, Dr. Okello, that you will see a few Subarus. Because these are people who have very thin skin. Very thin skin. These are not guys who you will see. Dr. Okello works in the legal office at the Senate. You will see a disciplinary next week. Because the people we work around, they have such thin skin, they cannot take criticism. But today, I want to applaud his courage because he has spoken about a broken system and a broken promises. When we look at the, you see, for me, the solution is very simple. Kenyans must go back to ask themselves, what sort of government did we want What sort of government did we want? And I've made it clear that all these people who talk about shiny things, railways from here to Malaba, how many markets we are constructing, those are not the people we are looking for. The aspirations of Kenyans as far as government is concerned will be found in the preamble of the Constitution. It talks about an aspiration by all Kenyans for a government based on the essential values of human rights, equality, freedom, democracy, social justice, and rule of law. So all of these people who are claiming they want home government in 2027, if you do not fit that mold of those 6 essential values, please, we are not what we are looking for. Are we together? Yes. There is already a manifesto. There is already a blueprint for the government we want to establish. No roads, no markets, freedom, respect for humanity, for human rights, respect for democracy, social justice, and rule of law. Honorable Kalonzo, I am a believer in separation of powers. I have refused to go to the seat of the executive, and this is one of the criticisms I hope the CJ will share. One of my criticisms of her is that sometimes she forgets that she is a head of an institution, and you must protect the image of that institution. Don't allow yourself, even perception, don't allow the perception that you are subservient to the head of state. Don't go to his house. That's what I'm saying. Don't go to his house. If you have to meet as a head of government, choose a place where that physical separation, Honorable Kalonzo, between the two arms of government can be maintained. And that is the reason why Sifuna does not go to State House. And by the way, constitutionally, I am the supervisor of the executive. They come to me, I don't go to them. I am a believer in the rule of law, and I will tell you a story. Recently, there was a governor who was brought before the Senate for impeachment. If you look at those impeachment charges, all of them originated from the County Public Accounts Committee where I sit. All of them, including the hiring of more than 60 advisors and so on and so forth. They originated from a session of the County Public Accounts Committee. I was in that session. So I believe in those charges. But there is a high court sitting somewhere in, I think it was Mary, that has said all the proceedings in the county assembly are null and void. It's not that I don't believe in the charges, but I am a lawyer. I am an advocate. I swore an oath. In fact, the judge in that case was so gracious as to say they were not going to stop the proceedings in the Senate. They are leaving it to us to exercise our minds on the space of constitutional institutions and the respect for the rule of law. What do you think Sifuna does? Yes, we say you can argue whether the order is flawed, and I saw some of my senior colleagues in the profession coming and telling us that there are actually orders that we can ignore. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? So, despite my feelings about the charges and the guy generally, I have a responsibility because some of us take oaths very seriously. We took an oath to defend this constitution. And I agree with those of you who are saying we need to go back and reclaim our country. Now, let me conclude. First of all, Justice Lenaola, I think, has painted the true picture of this country, who we are. I have had some political leaders claim that, we are in Africa. And that in Africa, it is very, very difficult to remove us.
Gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and All right, I'm back. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, and comrades. Um, sorry. Hi, Gypsy. Let's see here. I was about to discuss. Jesus. All right, I was about to discuss. Okay, let me get back to what I was about to speak about. Am I still frozen? Hold on. Okay. I'm back. All right. I'm back. Okay. Dang. All right. These. All right. All right. Can you hear me? Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades. Can you hear me? Hold on. All right. All right. All right. Okay. We're back. But yeah, I don't know more. All right, second, and something else I wanted to play. The Eternal Major. Sorry, right. No, it's not my bad friend. I don't use bundles. I have very, very reliable. I know what they're doing. I don't depend on bundles. Uh, I know what they're doing. It's okay. Uh, so anyway, uh, here's my second video that I wanted to play before I give you my thing, like whatever that I was going to. Hmm. Okay, I see what's going on here. All right. Hmm. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades.
We have no sense of priority. We have no loyalty. We change our minds at a whim. We are no better than the executive. Executive has the money, and they are the ones who are bribing. The governors have the money. They are the ones who are bribing. Gone are those days where the member of parliament was getting 10,000 shillings a month, and he was doing his job. We have two drug barons in parliament, 2 drug barons, not in parliament, in cabinet, 2 known drug barons who cannot go to the United Kingdom and the United States. Known for millions and billions of shillings. They're in the executive. We have a number of other questionable people in the executive whose accumulation of wealth has been astronomical. We have ministers who are now walking around with the 20 million shilling watches, and I know them before in the 9th parliament and the 7th parliament, you know. So the situation is that, frankly,
So you hold with what the president is saying, that
no,
the
the
corruption...
president is part of the problem. The president, as head of the executive and head of government, is part of the problem. You cannot start crying wolf or fox when you know where it's coming from. If you really want to do this, sort it out properly. Do a Duterte. And I remember Duterte of Philippines. He was severe. I have been a member of parliament and a chairman of APNAC. I have sat as close as this to Kibaki, Uhuru Kenyatta, and now Ruto. At one time when I sat close to Uhuru Kenyatta, and I would see tears in his eyes, and I thought, good boy, this one, he's going to be a good support. What happened? Nothing. The position here is that we are all corrupt, without doubt. In Kenya, if you do a poll, 70% of Kenyans or more will accept corruption. But now we're saying to the President, you call people to parliament, to State House. You show them all those motorcycles and whatever else. What are you showing? You call us and you tell us you are going to empowerment rallies. And we go to empowerment rallies. And you sit there and you're given money to go to empowerment rallies. Corruption has become a norm in our country. And now President Ruto feels that this is too much and he's blamed the parliament. We, the parliament, are blaming the executive. We're also blaming the judiciary. But as Mukali Mulu said, I chair the African Parliamentarians Against Corruption, and we work with TI. The parliamentarians are number 6, number 8 or 10, somewhere there. The basic state of affairs is this. If you are going to buy 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 members of parliament, they are your slaves. I've sat in committees where the minister doesn't bother turning up. The PS doesn't bother turning up. He walks in like a lord because he knows that he's bought some of you guys.
All
And
right.
That's it.
Okay, so let me, because we want to also take a short break briefly, and you've talked about the judiciary.
All right. That was a very good discussion there. No, what's wrong with who? Njiru and Kip, whatever the case is. They're just a bunch of clowns who they want everyone to sing the same kumbaya NIS bullshit about Gachagua and Martha Karua nonsense, and we are not buying it. Of course, they pose as opposers of Ruto, but these are NIS fraudulent paid employees, basically. That's why it's not worth talking to them, because you know what they're going to say. I mean, I once asked one of them about Martha Karua, and they couldn't even answer that question. I was like, why are you supporting this old witch? I mean, we know she's a racist, tribalist witch, okay? And they couldn't answer. So fuck G. I don't care about him. I don't give a shit. That's how I do not need, anybody's approval on my position. I feel how I feel, and that's what it is. But anyway, but yeah. So I even lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Yes, Sifuna. Let's not talk about individuals who don't not contribute, but don't mean anything in the larger sense of in the biggest linear of things. Okay, they're non-issue. They're a bunch of bored, paid NIS agents who feel like they need to sabotage the truth. That's basically what it is. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about Ruto destroying the country. I'm worried about Gachagua destroying the country. I'm worried about Raila destroying Kenya. That's what I need to worry about. Tingoje weke pono kwa studio. Actually, there was a guy who wanted to. Yes, Sifuna matters. At least Sifuna matters. Is a public figure, so we can entertain him. Okay. But anyway, one more video as I gather my thoughts here. So before I go on a tangent about people who don't even matter. Okay. Some kid who is busy jacking off in West London or South London, whatever the case is, whatever the fuck. Anyway, I'm sorry. All right, let's go back to this video.
Chairman here, they will point you to shiny things that they have done where they get commissions. Either it is a stadium, they'll point you to some road, because that is what they focus the money on. They get commissions from that. And I want to tell you, Chairman, and those people that are surrogates of the president, Kisi, if you're doing that in Nairobi, in State House, giving out people machines to do business, do the same in Nyamira. If you're doing that in Nairobi, do the same in Kitui. Stop discriminating Kenyans. That is what we are saying. And wherever you're getting that money from, just ensure schools also get capitation in full, ensure the health sector is working.
Thank you.
And ensure other programs actually run government.
Dr. Mutunga, you're staring at the least to say.
Please, let me say this. It is very important for us to be held to account for some of the utterances you are making here. Somebody, my friend here, says that money meant for capitation is the one that is going through empowerment.
Where do you get the money?
Capitation has always been the way it is right now. See, even in the previous government, it was around 16,900. Even then, for several years. So it is not, there was no empowerment then. And again, my friend here says it could be from the confidential vote. I would be very happy if it is coming from the confidential vote, because those who have sat in those positions have made themselves super rich. This money is reaching Kenyans now. Why not? The never been to an empowerment. I've never been to 2 or 3 functions myself. 3 to be very precise. I have never received a coin to give. That is myself. I've never received any money to give. It depends on whether you ask for money yourself. I have never. Bring it here. Let me up.
You get the Bible.
I have never received money to give. Let me. You don't know we have a chorus of opposition.
Okay. Let Dr. Mtunga.
We should be given a chance to adjudicate our point with a lot of respect, Shabir.
All right, Shakil,
I've not had the time.
No, let him have his. Let him have his.
He has more than enough time to say all these things.
No.
Why don't you want me to finish my point? But all of you are speaking on one side. I need time to respond.
We will show you where you are wrong.
But you wait for your time to show.
All right, can I
I finish?
No.
Let me finish.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Let
He
me
will not finish before he
Now, my friend here says,
Because
he says that if empowerment is coming in terms of motorbikes and others, I accept it. But if it comes in form of money,
No, we
I
are
don't
saying
accept it. What is he talking about?
Even if
What
it's
is he
in
trying to
money
say?
or motorbikes, do not discriminate other
If it is no
parts of the
empowerment, it should be
country.
no empowerment. So he actually recognizes this is empowerment.
It is
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, I would like to stay later than this, but unfortunately I can't. Ile kelele ya Tore Bobe, you can't use it in political arena, no. Labani wewe. Whatever. I hope you're ready to drop rage there. Leo ni Friday. Wacha nikakule happy. Kesho Premier League inarudi full swing, wacha nikaangalie ball. Nyinyi mmezidi. Mara umeingia na Raila, mara sijui mmeingia wapi. Hata sijui nianze wapi. Hii conclave yenu hii siwezani nayo leo. Wacha nikalale mimi. Tony, thank you for being here. Ani Labani, Gypsy Kona kama kawaida, and everything. I had a video for Omugendi, our friend from Uganda, but he's not here. I haven't seen it. I wanted to show him there's a presidential people running for president to challenge Nini. Liverpool 4-2. Liverpool waliponea chupu chupu. I watched a couple of that game kidogo. Sisi tulishinda leo miamba ya soka Ulaya. Sawa. Anyway, all right, guys. Tunis, Shukran, and everybody else. I'll see you guys later. Peace and blessings. I'm out. Thank you so much. I'm out.